Hey guys, it's Jake Mace with learnfromjake.com. Before we start this video today, we need to stretch like this to do the actions that we're going to be doing today. So if you guys can do a little left stretch here, a little right stretch here. If you want to learn what these stances are called in Pinyin as well as Putonghua, which is Mandarin, or Zhongwen, go to my previous video about stances and leg conditioning. And I put all the Chinese in there for you guys. I put the Pinyin, which is how to pronounce it with phonetics like the alphabet, and I also put in the Chinese characters. I think I use the Jiantizi, which is what Beijing uses nowadays. So there's two different kinds of Chinese characters. There's the Fantizi and the Jiantizi. And the Fantizi is like what they use in Taiwan. It's the traditional complex characters, and the Jiantizi is the more modern official characters called the simplified. It's what Beijing and the Chinese government uses. So check it out. Got the reverse bow, the forward bow, a little bit of 8 brocades, stomping immortal. If you guys want to learn the 8 brocades, go on YouTube and type in Jake Mace 8 brocades. This is one of them. A little horse stance. And now we're ready to start today's lesson. Guys, a lot of Chinese martial arts is based off of the 3 major spiritual disciplines in China. And we have Confucianism, we have Buddhism, and we have Taoism. A lot of the martial arts are based off stories and legends and philosophies that have come out of these 3 spiritual belief systems. If we focus on the Taoism for this video, there are 2 figures who are most important in Taoism. And one is known as the father of Taoism, who we call Lao Tzu. And a lot of times you guys watch my videos, I put a quote that I know a lot of my haters out there think is corny as hell, but I think it's very important for especially young people who consume the educational content of my martial art videos to not be so concerned with fighting all the time, to not be so concerned with beating people's brains in, to not be so concerned with winning. We have to make sure that if we're teaching martial arts, we're teaching people how to fight and how to be masters of self-defense. But at the same time, as a good teacher, you have to understand that the way in which you offer your lessons to especially your younger students matters big time, because you can shape them and you can shape the kind of adults that they'll become. And since my channel is like 85% men and most of them are younger, I have to be really careful about sensationalizing the fighting content on my channel. So that's why I try to always offer more meditation and Tai Chi, history, Chinese culture, Chinese language, and things like that. I have a couple of videos coming up very soon where I'll be speaking Mandarin exclusively in the entire video. So I think that the quotes in the beginning of my videos are very important because they most of the time come from Lao Tzu and Taoism, Socrates, Aristotle, sometimes from like Thomas Jefferson, sometimes from Buddha, sometimes from Jesus, and sometimes from Native American spiritual quotes like Native Americans here in the United States. And I think it's very important to kind of give people some philosophy and some culture if you're going to teach them a self-defense or fighting video. Give them some yin and give them some yang. So Lao Tzu is one really important character in the Taoist spiritual discipline, but also the 8 immortals, the 8 drunken immortals. And in Chinese martial arts, we have a fighting system based on the 8 drunken immortals. And typically what you'll find in a really good, traditional, authentic Chinese Kung Fu school is that they do at least one style of fighting for each of the 8 immortals. And normally that will entail empty hand fighting like that immortal, but also weapons fighting like that immortal. Of the 8 immortals, there's only one of them that is seen as the only one who's for sure female. And that's somebody who I want you guys to repeat her name after me right now. And I'll try to give you guys as much Mandarin practice as I can. Say he, say he, and then say Xian, and then say gu, just like that. Say it exactly like I say it, with the same, what we call tone or connotation, the same accent or the same tone. Ready? He, Xian, gu, he, Xian, gu, he, Xian, gu. 3 words. So he, Xian, gu is known as the most beautiful woman in the world. So beautiful that a lotus flower blooms out of her back. And even though one of the other immortals might be a female, He Xian is the only one that we know for sure that is the female end of the 8 drunken Chinese immortals. This is also the reason why one of my favorite martial art movies of all time is Drunken Master with Jackie Chan, because it's so cool to see a movie done in such a high quality way about Taoism, even if it's about martial arts and fun, all that kind of stuff. So if you're a young person, go out and watch Drunken Master, the original one with Jackie Chan when he's like 20 years old, he's ripped, he's ready to go, and he gives his all to that movie. It's a great movie. And I wanted to read you guys something that I brought to this video today about He Xiangu. Accounts of He Xiangu's assumption into the ranks of the immortals can be found numerous times throughout the vast corpus of Chinese folk tales and literature. Something I pulled off of newworldencyclopedia.org, but there's a lot of legends and stories about He Xiangu, so I want you guys to get curious and go out there and read up about the 8 drunken immortals, and especially the female. In the most popular account, He Xiangu is characterized as a poor peasant girl living during the Tang Dynasty. When she was about 14 or 15 years old, she was visited in a dream by an immortal who instructed her to eat powdered stones. Some say it was to eat mother of pearl, like you would see mother of pearl inlay in some of your furniture you might have at home. She was instructed by this immortal to eat powdered stones from the bank of a distant mountain stream. The divine being told her that this would make her body as light as air and would render her immune from death. Waking from her slumber, He Xiangu was so moved by this vision that she resolved to follow every detail of the instructions and also vowed to remain a virgin, and in doing so, she was dedicating herself utterly to the task of becoming worthy of immortality. After a long and arduous trek to the mountain stream, she consumed the powdered stone, like her dream said to do, and as promised, she was suddenly able to traverse huge distances in a single stride while simultaneously requiring less and less physical sustenance, meaning less and less food. However, she remained a devoted daughter to her parents, and she soon used her powers as a means of providing for her elderly parents. She would float from mountaintop to mountaintop, gathering the finest fruits, herbs, and minerals for her family. Later on, after her parents died, she felt the hold of the material world beginning to slip away from her, and she gradually ceased from eating all food altogether. Meanwhile, the Empress Wu, desiring the secrets of immortality for herself, dispatched a messenger to summon He Xiangu to visit her at the palace. The young immortal, realizing that Empress Wu had immoral motivations, she chose to depart from the world before she was summoned, and much to the bafflement of the royal messenger, she ascended into heaven, becoming an immortal. So there is a martial arts fighting system based on He Xiangu, which involves a lot of techniques and a lot of postures. We package all those techniques and all those postures into what we call a taolu, or a kata, or a form. We teach all these techniques from He Xiangu to our black belts in the style of Kung Fu that I teach. Although I wanted to show you guys out there, my YouTube fans, my YouTube students, my YouTube audience, I want to show you guys a little sample of some of the techniques that He Xiangu has to offer. These are the empty hand techniques, so no weapon is present today, although we will show you guys how the weapons of this fighting immortal work in the future. And I'll have a part 2 of this video coming up this week as well with one of my students to show you guys how these moves I'm about to teach you will work in a fighting situation. We call it the fighting applications of the moves. So in this video, part 1, let me show you guys this short sequence of moves from the 8 drunken immortal system of He Xiangu, and then I want you guys to watch this over and over again until you've memorized all the techniques. Then I want you guys to keep an eye out later on this week for my next video, part 2, showing you how to use the moves to defend yourself in a real world fighting situation. The movements I'm about to teach you, they don't have to be done in an aggressive, crazy street fight MMA UFC way. Even I just saw a video of Floyd Mayweather doing some boxing training in the gym, and he doesn't go all out all the time. You watch Floyd Mayweather box, and he's very defensive, but he's also undefeated, right? So you don't have to be a complete beast like Mike Tyson all the time. Mike Tyson, he lost in boxing. Mayweather's never lost. So I like watching Mayweather kind of just keeping it loose, keeping it easy, keeping it relaxed. And he has good enough fundamentals that he knows how to guard, he knows how to fight when he needs to, and then he knows how to conserve his strength as well. I think that He Xian Gu is one of those styles that's teaching you how to be a little softer, how to be a little calmer, how to conserve your strength, and how to tease a little bit, how to have good timing, and how to kind of bring a little bit of yin female nature into our yang male bodies. I think it's very important, especially if you're very aggressive and if you're like a man's man, to do some of this training, because it's going to help to soften you up and balance you out. Later on in part 2, when we talk about the fighting applications, we're going to let it rip a little bit, and you guys will see how a lot of these techniques are very unorthodox, but they're very effective, especially for a street fight scenario. We're going to stand still just like this to begin. I want your left hand to kind of form into a tray, and your right hand to form into like a cup. But since this is the female immortal, she's very refined. She's very like aristocratic and kind of high end, and she has like grace and refinement. Okay, so we're gonna kind of hold this cup with this nice posture. And instead of holding a cup tight, like a lot of the other immortals do, we're gonna kind of hold it very elegant and aristocratic, almost like we're at dinner with the president. We wanna kind of show that we belong there. You know what I'm saying? So we're holding our tray in our left hand and our cup in our right hand. And we're gonna kind of just take this cup and give it a salute toward the immortal that came to us in the dream that we spoke about earlier. And then once we give respect to that immortal, we're going to then take a little sip, just a little bit of a female sip from that cup. Nothing too crazy. We don't want to do the full-on drink like the other sloppy immortals do. We want to just salute, pay respect, and a little sip, and bring it back down and save the rest for later. But then we're going to do a really good curtsy or a really good bow to that immortal. So we're going to bow some more. We're going to lift the right leg up and take this right hand and salute again up top toward that immortal. Then we're going to show our nimbleness, suppleness, and flexibility by sinking down and bringing this hand and stack it on top of our tray down this way. Now the left leg does the same thing. We're going to switch the hands around. The right hand becomes the tray, and the left hand salutes up and pays respect toward that immortal. Then show our flexibility again, cross step, and let this side sink on down and snake on down there on top of the tray. Then we're going to take a more generous step and show our speed. We're going to hook with the right hand forming a beak this way with this hand, hook it out, and this hand does a reverse side hand to the left. So we're going hook with the beak, side hand with the left. Then cross this way, cross in front, hook with the left beak now, and side hand with the right hand. So it's hook beak left, side hand right. Let's do that one time, a little bit faster. So now from this final cross position, we're gonna now step out into that really low horse stance, keep the left hand in the beak, hook the beak this way, the right hand stays open, sink the stance down, beak left, and press the right side hand out to the sides. Okay, so we're showing that depth in that horse stance. But now we switch over to the left to a bow stance, and we go 1, 2, 3, kind of like He Xian Gu jumping from mountain to mountain, gathering her herbs and flowers. So 1, 2, 3. Then we're gonna kind of go 1, 2, 3, a little smaller, and go to the right. 1, 2, 3, then a little smaller, 1, 2, 3. I'll show you guys this more in fast speed in a second. Then we're gonna move our attention to the left, hook these hands over like we're gathering some herbs and flowers in toward our dantian, step out and go push them back this way. Then I want you guys to do the same thing on the other side. Hook into cat stance, gather some herbs and flowers this way. Step out and push to this side. Then come in with this hand touching the elbow and this hand in this position, like we're blocking in. And I want you to flick. Okay, this flick is a cat stance with the left leg in cat, the hip kind of throwing our power that way, but the strike and the attention is toward the fingertips and that flick right over here. This move right here. 1, come in, and 2. After that position, I want you guys to take your right hand and block in a fist. Slide this foot to cat stance. The left hand pulls in like this to open hand. We're gonna give 2 finger jab strikes, 1, 2, to a low 45-degree position toward like the dantian or the groin. I don't know if you guys have ever fought a go before, but for some reason I have in the martial arts and wrestling, maybe a little bit of play fighting on the side, and girls are always really good at hitting you in the groin to end the fight quick. So Xiān is no different. We're in that cat stance. We go block right fist, block left hand, and we go jab, jab. And after that second jab, we go hook with the right beak, and then we go elbow to somebody's face right in the front. Then we want to clean off the hair and the tea. So we clear the hair, we wipe the face, lift that cat stance leg and offer our beak up almost like Tai Chi, but we're not going to do anything more like Tai Chi, just this one move. We hold it right there, holding our tray by our solar plexus, and this right beak comes up. After that position, I want you guys to sink on down low and bring the right hand down into the left palm right here, like we're smacking right this position. I want you to turn your attention left, block out to the left this way, hook somebody in, switch your stance, and bring it down again for a smack this way, right here. Then I want you to move back toward the right into a cat stance, and I want you to elbow somebody to the right, using this hand as a helper. Then I want you to switch it, move to the left, elbow this person to the left, using this hand as a helper. And then I want you to show the extreme leg power and flexibility and depth that we can generate being the female immortal. Slide out to a left side bow stance and offer the hands this way. Then switch it and offer the hands this way. That last sequence was kind of long and I was kind of talking about the techniques, so let's do it one time from the beginning all the way through medium speed, a little bit faster than instructional speed. Let me show you guys one time full speed from the back view as if you're standing behind me live in one of my in-person classes.